Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia and today we have another A Better Commandery guide video. Today we're doing a Peasantry plus Industry template build guide. This was requested by a subscriber who brought up the issue of not knowing what to build with these slightly awkward combination of counties in some of the commanderies in the game. We haven't done a Better Commandery guide in a while, so I thought this is a pretty good topic to pick up our Commandery guide, so let's jump into it. To start, we'll refresh why peasantry and industry combination is bad. It's not really that it's terrible, it's just that it's not harmonious and there's no synergy between these two income sources, so it makes it rather difficult when you get a combination of these counties. Now, this mainly applies to the base game of Total War 3 Kingdoms. In the 8 Princes DLC, there were some changes that impacted population, as it's no longer related to public order, or in the 8 Princes DLC it's called noble support. With that removed, a lot of the issues with population growth and building tall was also taken care of. So this combination is actually quite good in the 8 Princes DLC. So we're only saying it's bad for the base game. Now, why is it bad? First off, between the peasantry buildings and the industry buildings, the green and purple buildings, there are no building discount synergies from Wuxing. Now, unlike the other cases where we have commerce and industry buildings provides a discount for commerce buildings. So oftentimes when we build tall in those commanderies, after you gain a certain percentage discount from administrators, from the buildings, you could upgrade and construct commerce buildings for free. And in the case of peasantry and commerce combos, peasantry buildings get the discount from commerce buildings, so the same thing applies. But in this case, peasantry provides discount to military building or red buildings, and industry provides discount to commerce buildings or blue buildings. So between the two of them, there are no discount synergies. So everything is full price. The next issue with this combination is that to maximize your peasantry income, it requires you to maintain a high population to gain most of the peasantry income multipliers that come from a population bonus. This requires you to build tall, but when you build tall in the base game, like we just mentioned earlier, you come up with issues with public order. Especially one of the main base peasantry income buildings is the tax collection building, which requires you to take a heavy public order penalty. To counteract these, often you have to build temples or military infrastructure building to prevent rebellions in these commanderies, or else you'd be forced to maintain an army nearby to crush these rebellions. But when you have rebellion, when you have negative public order, you take a population growth penalty. So either way, it's very difficult to build up your peasantry income when you don't have good public order. So in this combo, it doesn't really work out. Next, the problem with industry income in the game is that it has the highest base income value of all three types of incomes, but it doesn't have many available income multipliers in the game. Oftentimes when we have an industry income county, we will combo it with commerce because the private workshop building provides a high amount of commerce income and 40% industry income, which is the highest amount you can provide with a building. So that makes the private workshop building almost essential for all industry income commanderies. However, you could argue that the labor building is designed to set up your commandery for a peasantry and industry income focused build because it provides population growth and it provides 40% industry income as well. But you're still giving up half of the percent that you have on the private workshop because you don't have any commerce income sources. So that makes this build quite inefficient. And the last point, we mentioned the labor building. The labor building does provide 40% income to industry, also provides a nice population growth bonus for peasantry. But the problem is it doesn't carry any industry income multipliers until level 4 and 5. So it makes it really inefficient as a building. As you build it and upgrade it, it takes a lot of turns, takes a lot of money, and the reward is only 40% industry. So oftentimes in the base game, I really don't recommend this building chain. So all these factors combined is why peasantry income and industry income is a bad mix in the game. But we still have commanderies that have this combo, so let's take a look at where they are and how to deal with them. So here's the map of all the commanderies in the game. I have numbered and labeled the 9 commanderies that have county combinations that have peasantry income and industry income mixed in. If we take a look here, they are pretty scattered throughout the map, mainly located in the western and southern regions of China. This is probably because the southern and western commanderies tend to have 2 or 3 counties. That's why we get more combinations down south. That's why all the lucrative ones are down south as well, because in the north, a lot of the commanderies only have 1 specialty county, so these combination doesn't apply there. But if we take a look at these 9 counties, they're not all made the same, and some of these are actually quite favorable builds. So let me explain them in groups. First, let's talk about the ones that I consider to be pretty synergetic and pretty easy to define an optimum build that you can follow in your games. These are the 5 listed here: Anding, Chengdu, Wulin, Yangzhou, and Yuzhang. These are what I call the food and corruption commanderies. If you notice, Anding, Wulin, Yangzhou, and Yuzhang all have 2 counties that provide food production. In most cases, it's a livestock farm plus a farmland. There are 2 that are way in the south that provides rice paddies instead of farmland, which will actually give them more food. And because these 4 commanderies have 2 sources of food producing counties, they're excellent food producers. And if we go back to our peasantry template build guides, we talked about how you can maximize your commanderies for food production. And these commanderies are perfect for that build. And you only need 2 buildings to maximize for food production. You only need the land development building and the government support building, so you don't have to build these commanderies very tall. Matter of fact, they only need to be a small city. Because a small city, you get 3 slots and you unlock the level 5 land development building that provides farming food and the level 5 government support building that provides 100% food production and 100% peasantry income multiplier. So it's quite nice that you'd be able to reach max level in both of those building chains at just a small city settlement. So keeping that low level settlement also means you consume less food in the settlement. Small cities only cost 2 food, and you'll be able to maximize your food with 2 food producing counties, land development, and a multiplier from the government support building. And because all these have an additional industry income county component to the commanderies, mostly in tool makers, except for there is a copper in Yuzhang and a salt in Chengdu. But let's just say tool makers provides a very nice flat industry income. You can complement that. You can build a level 4 coin maker building, which provides 250 flat industry income and a 10% corruption reduction for all neighboring commanderies. If you don't know why we're going for this version of the building, you can consult our corruption guide. Mainly, you want these commanderies to be more utility. You don't really care about how much money these commanderies are making. For these 4 that we're talking about, basically everything on the list except for Chengdu, we are mainly focused on producing the maximum amount of food. And with this build, you can produce 53 food for all the grain farmlands. And for the rice paddy farmland, you can produce additional 5 food. So you can reach potentially 58 food from just a small city, and you provide corruption reduction for all the neighboring commandery as well as your own commandery. So it really helps you out in the mid game and late game when you are expanding. And it still provides decent income, because if we add up all the income here, not only do you get 53 food, you get the corruption reduction, you also get close to almost 2,000 gold per turn. And that's pretty decent for a small city. So it's not a bad build. Now, Chengdu is a very special case, because if we look at the counties that comes with it, it's actually only have 1 source of income, and it's salt, which provides industry income. But unlike most industry income counties, if we take a look at the salt mine here, you see that the salt mine provides agricultural construction cost reduction instead of the standard commerce building construction cost reduction. This is because the game treats the salt mine, which is an industry building, which is colored purple, but it treats it as a blue building. So it's a little weird, but this comes to advantage for us because it gives us Wuxing synergy reduction to our land development and to our government support buildings that we're going to build in these commandery. So Chengdu is actually cheaper to build compared to the other 4 that were listed in this group, but it has a higher upkeep cost because it has a legendary armor building. So this building has 100 upkeep costs at level 3, which is the max level, but it provides you nice armors occasionally. So it's still pretty good. And you're not really going to get much income from this commandery because, like I said, one thing, you don't have a third county like the livestock farm that provides additional food and income. Instead, you get a upkeep intensive armor building. So that's going to take away a lot of your income, and it's going to take away a lot of your food production because we can see here you're only getting 35.5 food, but you're still getting a nice complementary piece. You're getting still nice amount of food, small income, 1,200 gold per turn. You're getting armor once in a while. That makes everything worthwhile, and it's cheaper to build this commandery overall because of the Wuxing synergy that does exist from the salt mine. So keep that in mind when you're building Chengdu. Now you might think all these commanderies here, we're building it just to a small city, feels kind of like a waste, but really you can't build everything tall. But for the 4 that we didn't list, in Badong, Baxi, Jiangyang, Lingling, these 4 commanderies you could choose to build tall. You don't have to, but you could. It's still awkward build, but if you have the food production, if you have the gold, and you're in the late game and you want to boost your income, these 4 commanderies can be built to be a tall build. And what I mean by tall build is to reach the level 8 regional city, which provides 6 building slots. Now, in this build, the first one I'm going to show you is Maxell Income. This is on paper how you can reach the maximum income these commanderies can get. Of course, this is without any assignment boost and administrator boost, so it could be much higher once you add in those factors. But if we just take a look, you have the food selling livestock market of Commandery Capital, which provides you 300 flat base peasantry income. This is the highest amount of peasantry income you can get from a building. You also get 20% income from commerce, which actually is provided in this build because it has all 3 income sources. You're still going with the income-focused level 5 Grand Irrigation Canal or the government support building, 100% food production, 100% peasantry income, and you have the tax collection building, 240 base peasantry income, minus 20 public order. And then what's new here is that you're going to build a grand tea house because you're in the south for most of these commanderies, so you probably have tea, and you're getting 250 base commerce income and a nice 80% income from commerce as well. And lastly, since we're going for income on these commanderies, we're going with the flat income providing state workshop, 500 industry income there, very, very nice. And you're going for the complementary private workshop building, which is 190% commerce income multiplier and 40% industry income multiplier. So if you add all of that up, plus all the reform multipliers from that you have for building these buildings, if you consider everything that you factor in, positive food multiplier that gives 20% additional peasantry income multiplier, in the end, you can reach over 7,000 income per turn. And like I said, this is without administrator and assignments, so it could be much higher. Now, clearly the problem with this build is that you have a very high population commandery, so there's a lot of negative public order from population, and you're taking a tax collection building. So you're probably seeing anywhere from negative 30 to maybe negative 40 public order per turn, and that means rebellions. So for this build, if you want to go for all this income, you're going to have to keep an army in these commanderies to fight off these rebellions, which will bring in additional income. It's not a big deal. With 7,000 gold, you can definitely support a very cheap militia army with some generals that you want to level up who are just still too young or too low level to bring out to be your elite force, and just have them stationed there, take care of a rebellion every few turns, probably every 2 turns with this high amount of public order. And it's a pretty good way to build up a new force. Now, let's say you want to be low maintenance. You don't want to keep an army around. What you can do is you can destroy this tax collection building, obviously, because it's additional negative 20 public order, and you can switch it to the Confucius Temple, which will add a little bit to your upkeep cost, but you're going to get the nice 16 public order boost, and with some administrator traits or leader heir traits, you can probably even out your public order. It might not be very pretty. You might still be dropping, but you'd be dropping at a much slower rate, maybe negative 2, negative 4 per turn. And that way you don't really have to keep an army there because it's going to take quite a long time for that commander to go to negative 100. So that's pretty much our guide. With this build, you're still getting close to 6,000 gold per turn. So basically we looked at all 9 commanderies in the game that have this awkward combo of peasantry income and industry income. and hopefully you can follow the template builds in this guide to know what to build in these commanderies and utilize them to their maximum potential. So hope you enjoyed this guide, and if you want to request any additional guides in the future, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, if you enjoy our content and have not subscribed, please subscribe to support the channel, like the video, and see you next time. Bye!